When we first exposed this, it was about this high off the ground, and we had to say to everybody, be careful, you're going to ruin the clethra that's here on its own. And now it's gotten really tall and really spread, which is a good thing. What butterflies? Like milkweed. And you can see here's the milkweed case, so that more seeds will come up when that breaks open, and it will spread the milkweed further. And milkweed is vital to monarch butterflies. It's where they want to lay their eggs. Black swallowwort is in the same family. And I don't know if it smells like milkwort, but monarchs are attracted to that just as they are to the milkweed. The problem with that is they lay their eggs, and when the larvae come out of the eggs, if they can't eat the black swallowwort. So 100% of them die. So it's really a serious problem. This plant we keep, black swallowwort, we have to get rid of, and that's a very short plant when it starts out, and then it grows and climbs trees. We're donated by South County Garden Club, and we with the money they gave us, we were able to put in about 140 plants, and some of them made it, some of them didn't, but the majority made it. We've got about between 80 and 90 of those plants are still here. They're growing much bigger down at the other end. Phragmites, which is an invasive that we've been trying to get rid of, and we have to treat this unlike the other stuff which we were able to get rid of by hand. And in the background are, some people call them bulrushes, and that was all Phragmites in there, and when we eliminated them from down there, the bulrushes came up on their own, which is a good thing. This is a native plant. It's called false indigo, but it's native only as far north as New Jersey. So it's not truly an invasive because it's not from another country. It's something that's native to here, but I think the climate change has allowed it to come further north. The problem with this is it doesn't tolerate salt well, so if we had nothing but this here, periodically it would all totally die down and there wouldn't be anything here at all. Oh my gosh, you've got this
and bindweed.
This is the black swallowwort. It has the bud, the flowers themselves are only about this big and they're black. Do you have some on there?
That's bindweed.
Oh yeah, that's David's, the plant that he likes the least, this bindweed, which is native, but it really wraps itself around the plants we love.
So that's the one that's bad for the monarchs you're talking about?
This is the one that's bad. This is the black swallowwort going to seed. So right now, our objective should be to find as much of this as possible and get the seed heads taken away. Because it's, with the ground as hard as it is with the dryness, it would be difficult to get the roots out. And besides that, we want to do as much work with eliminating this as possible. These are all beech rose plants. Some beech roses are native and some are not native. CRMC, Coastal Resource Management, kind of likes these, whether they're the invasive kind or the non-invasive, because they really hold the banks, which is what's happening here. Everything you see now along here, this bayberry, this clethra, we didn't have to plant anything for this strip. It was very limited number of invasive plants. It really has stayed pretty clean the whole time we've been working because the bayberry is just so dense, there's not enough sunlight to support the invasives. Some of these plants weren't here when we started, and the person who was advising us was yelling at us all the time, watch out for the bayberry, watch out for the bayberry. Well, they were only about this tall. None of us knew what it was looking like. And it was so rewarding at the end of the season when those little bayberries were then about this big and we were able to identify them on our own, but in the beginning we had no idea what we were doing. Marshmallow, which is like a hibiscus, a pink hibiscus. And when I first came here, there was a lot of it here, and then I didn't see it. It seemed to just, it did go away because the invasive came in and took over, and the marshmallow just disappeared. But 2 years ago, it came back gangbusters on the island across the way. It was like a Monet painting. You'd look across the water and here would be this big bank of pink flowers. It was incredible. And they were all coming up in through here, closer to the water. All different shapes to it, and it does, because there are about 76 different types of goldenrod. I'm not an expert on goldenrod, but this to me looks like it might be seaside goldenrod. The leaves are much thicker. And
Have you always known a lot about plants, or did you learn about them, or what's going on?
I still don't know about plants, but
Could have fooled me.
well, I pick up things along the way. I gardened, so to speak, with my mother and my Nana. And basically what I did was sit and whatever I could pick up and eat off of their plants, that's what I did. That was my role. And I kind of channel them. I feel close to them when I do things like this. I think they'd be proud of me. Yeah, this is groundsel. It's just about ready to bloom. The flowers are white. This is one of the plants we put in here. It started out about this tall, and it's been 3 years, and it's already this size. It's just amazing how well this is the best plant of all the plants we put in terms of growth and spreading. Here's another one here. I like the groundsel. We also planted sumac. I like the groundsel with the sumac in the fall because you do get the contrast of the white with the red seed heads of the sumac. So I think I myself would put more of that combination because I like it. This is a black swallowwort with nothing on the top. And this is the base of the plant and the beginning of the root. The roots can be this long. So not having gotten the roots out means that it'll grow next year. But oh, here's the little flowers right here. It's kind of a cute little flower, but it will eventually become those seed pods. Well, here you can see I got a little bit of the root here. So this won't come back again. We had a different landscape architect came and determined where we should put the plants and what plants we should use. And they're all what's called Rhode natives. The seeds are harvested in Rhode Island, and then they're grown, and then they're sold as true Rhode natives. Everything about them came from Rhode Island. Well, these plants that are here were selected because it's a good place for them to be in terms of moisture. So we're pretty proud of what we've accomplished here. This is basically, except for wherever we find black swallowwort, which we haven't defeated, is pretty clear of invasives. It was nothing but knotweed through here. The only thing that was really doing well was the Bayberry and the Beech Roses. From CRMC to work in this strip, not around the corner. We would have to apply for a new permission to do that. And the main reason we didn't do there was because the slope was so steep, we were afraid that our volunteers would fall in the water, which some volunteers fill in here, but over there it would have been even worse. A lot of people walk the trail, so in some ways more people get to enjoy what we're doing in there, but a lot of people get to see what we've done along here, because this is a busy corner, which is why we selected it, and it made a difference in the number of people we had signing up to be members. Purple loosestrife. It's not native, and it spreads like the weed it is.
Pretty though.
It is beautiful. This is a different kind of sumac than what I showed you. I can't walk past it without pulling it up. I'm sorry. This is knotweed.
And that was what was all thick in here
That's
before?
what was all thick in here before, yep. This is the last day we'll be here. We're trying to find as many of these stray ones that are still hanging around and get rid of them. We started the beginning of April, and we worked all the way until today. we start out every weekend, and then we go to every other weekend, and then we only went once in August and now once in September. Have to walk along and see if you can find the one or two plants that are still here. This is what this area looked like before we started 7 years ago. Knocked down in the spring, and then it wasn't touched again, so it came right back up again. This spring, all the dead knotweed was falling over into the pathway that people use both to get to the beach and just to go for a walk. So we tried to take out enough so that the path would be wider. And when we did that, the town realized we were doing it, so they started mowing it wider. So in the process, we've got a pretty wide expanse since we collaborated without realizing we were collaborating.